You want to become powerful, you want to become rich, you want to become knowledgeable, you want to be loved, you want to have pleasure, all these are spiritual processes going in wrong directions, that's all. You're unconsciously conducting a spiritual process. If you heighten this awareness continuously, a point will come where it's no more about survival. Something that is not needed for your survival will also come into your awareness. So you don't work on your awareness or your consciousness or your spiritual growth, you just work upon your voltage. You keep your energies up as much as possible, and when energies are up, you tend to get entangled with something. You make sure you don't get entangled with anything. See,
15 minutes Shoonya itself can lead to enlightenment. When people are using meditation as a trick to live better, the question of leaving yourself out doesn't arise, isn't it? It's about you. The very reason why you're meditating is your well-being. That itself is defeating. See, the reason why spirituality seems to be complex, it is not. It's very simple. Why it seems to be complex is only because of
Namaskar Sadhguru, my name is Ritu. My question is, what according to you is being successful in spirituality?
in spirituality or life?
In spirituality. And will I know it before I die? Thank you.
See, what this entire contrived ideas about what is spirituality, what's happened is, people think if they're seeking God, they're spiritual. What you need to understand is, you have already made an assumption and then you're trying to concretize your assumption. You want a guru to tell you, yes, God is there seeking. Seeking means this, you don't know whether God rules this existence or devil rules this existence or it's simply unruled like India. You don't know, that's why you want to seek. Seeking means you do not know and you want to know. If one has to be successful, as I said earlier, the most important thing is your intelligence is not identified with anything. Because the nature of the intellect is this, the moment you take on an identity, your intellect will work hard to protect that identity. You just have to tell yourself 3 times, I'm an Indian. Suddenly everything Indian looks nice, everything across the border doesn't look nice. You just have to tell yourself, I'm this, and immediately it only protects that and nothing else. This is the nature of the intellect. In fact, that is the work of the intellect, because intellect is a tool of survival. Intellect is not ultimate intelligence. Unfortunately, because we are too much under European influence and somebody there said, I think so, I exist, we just lost it. In India, in the yogic system, we do not ascribe too much significance to your thought, first of all. So why we do not give significance to thought process is, it can only happen from the limited data that you have gathered. What you call as thought, whatever kind of thought you have, is just recycling the limited data that you have gathered. You may think about gods, you may think about pleasure, you may think politics, you may think money. It is only the data that you have you're recycling. You are not… see, you may be thinking whatever. So I have been telling… this is a hard thing to do with people, constantly telling them, if God appears in your meditation, you just have to ignore him. Ah, but Sadhguru, if Shiva comes, especially if he comes. Because Shiva is coming only because of the calendar images that you have seen. If you were born elsewhere, somebody else would be coming. So this is the old data playing up. So whatever plays up. See, you cannot think God, you cannot think money, you cannot think ocean or the sky. You are only recycling the limited data. So we don't acknowledge thought process as a great form of intelligence. It's a wonderful instrument for handling your survival in the material world. But if you want to pursue something, there are other dimensions of intelligence within you. To put it very, very simply, today afternoon, whatever you had for lunch, let us say you had a chapati turns into a wonderful woman like you, because you ate the chapati. If Suhail ate this chapati, it will turn into a man. If a dog eats
But I am a man.
that is why I'm saying. You're not getting it. What I'm saying is, if a dog eats the chapati, it turns into a dog. So very intelligent chapati, you think? No, this is programmed. In your system, there is a certain volume of memory and intelligence which is capable of turning a simple chapati into a human being. When I say a human being, I am talking about the most complex mechanism in the universe that we know of. There may be others, but this is the most complex mechanism in the universe that we know of. What have you manufactured such a complex machine with? With chapatis, bananas, dal and this and that? Just about anything you eat gets transformed. So there is an intelligence within you which is the very source of creation. Instead of finding access to this, you are too lost in your own thought process. Once you get lost in your thought process, your identities become super strong. When they become super strong, you have a sense of confidence, but all your clarity will go away. Unfortunately, the very foundations of the so-called religions of the world is about building confidence. Don't worry, God is with you. You know, there's some bank advertisements, you know, I'm with you. You know, our banker is with you. So, this is a confidence-building process. But confidence without clarity is a disastrous process. What you need is clarity. Confidence means you can't see, but you're confident. This is a dangerous way to go. This is a continuous disaster. See, it doesn't take thousands of years to figure out simple aspects of life. I'm saying, now Suhail is going at these things, anger, hatred, all kinds of prejudice against each other with great vehemence about it. What I'm saying is, these are simple things in a human being. After 1,000,000 years of living here, if you can't figure it out, which way to be out of it, obviously your intellect is not doing well enough, isn't it? You need other dimensions of intelligence. People ask me, Sadhguru, all other gurus are doing so many miracles, you don't do anything. I say, you want me to pull a pigeon out of my pocket? If I do that, you will have a bird and I'll have a shitty pocket.
But no, let's stay with this. But you do acknowledge that there are many such people who are actually defrauding the emotions of a large population by doing this kind of nonsense.
See, corruption is not the prerogative of only spiritual people. There are corrupt politicians, there are corrupt lawyers, there are corrupt policemen, there are corrupt doctors, there are corrupt every kind of profession, okay? It has entered every sphere of life. It is just that when a person who claims to be a spiritual guide or a guru turns corrupt, it stands out glaring because today if you go to a police station, you're expecting him to be corrupt, unfortunately. If he's not corrupt, you're surprised. That's when you talk about it. Oh my God, I went to the police station, the guy didn't ask for a buck. He did the job for me, you know. But when you go to your doctor, if he's corrupt, you're a little hurt because you placed your physical self in his hands. But when you go to your guru, you placed your entire life in his hands. If he is corrupt, you're very profoundly hurt, all right? So, the integrity that is necessary to perform different levels of activity is definitely more demanding when more trust is invested in that. But unfortunately, spiritual enterprise has started, okay? It's an enterprise. If you read 2 pages of Gita, you can become a guru in the country. You don't have to read the entire thing. 2 pages and go on repeating the same 2 pages in a language that other people don't understand, you will become a guru. So about being successful with her spiritual process, this is all you have to do. Tonight when you go home, sit on your bed, look at yourself, what is you, what you gathered, okay? You have a home, you gathered it. You have people, you gathered them. You have clothes, you gathered this. You have a body, you gathered this. The content of your mind, you gathered it. See, before going to bed, close your eyes and see if you can keep all that aside, even intellectually. Just try to keep it aside and go to bed every day. You will see one day you will wake up in a way you have not believed possible, truly awake. Turn around once. Just turn around. Just turn around, turn around. See, all of you see what's written on his t-shirt? A. Yeah, that's where you start, A. Don't start with Z, A. You must start with A. A means it's a beginning, isn't it? So, where should you start? Does it happen in stages? Where should you start? I think we've been repeatedly saying, you can only start from where you are. You cannot start somewhere else. Don't try to start anywhere. There's nothing to start. It's already long ago it's been started. You are trying to just hasten it, that's all. You can't start it, it's already started. Your longing to grow has started, isn't it? Maybe you're thinking of more money, but that's only your misunderstanding. But essentially, you want to be something more. That's a spiritual process. Misguided, but a spiritual process. You want to become powerful, you want to become rich, you want to become knowledgeable, you want to be loved, you want to have pleasure, all these are spiritual processes going in wrong directions, that's all. Unconscious conducting of… you're unconsciously conducting a spiritual process. If you conduct anything unconsciously, you may flounder every step, maybe off the mark, isn't it? If you walk… now if I tell you, drive home with your eyes closed, before you get out of the parking lot, you will be in quite a bit of mess, isn't it? So now, don't try to start anywhere, just become more and more conscious. As you become more conscious, it will naturally find its way. To be conscious, to be aware, what it means. If you try to be aware, you cannot be aware. People are always mistaking mental alertness for awareness. Mental alertness will enhance your ability to survive better. You can survive better with mental alertness. But that is not awareness. Awareness means, right now are you here, right now?
Yes.
Do you know that you're here?
Yes.
That's awareness. You're aware, that's why you know that you're here. Otherwise you would not know. Suppose you do not know that you're here, isn't it? If somebody… you know. So someone is dead, poke, no awareness. Someone is asleep, poke, immediately there. Now you don't have to be poked, still you are there. So what I'm saying is, your awareness anyway is coming in different stages. Have you noticed at different times of the day you're in different levels of awareness? So it can be heightened. What is needed for survival naturally happens. Even when it comes to survival mode, not every individual is alert to the same extent. Now you're driving on the street, not everybody is alert to the same extent, it's a survival process, driving. But not everybody is alert to the same extent. So even in the survival mode, not everybody is alert to the same extent, and that can be heightened. If you heighten this awareness continuously, a point will come where it's no more about survival. Something that is not needed for your survival will also come into your awareness. When that comes into your awareness, that which is not needed for your survival is bound to be a dimension beyond the physical. So when that comes into your living experience of life, you're on. Very simple. Those 7 days, what we were doing with you is slowly wind you up, wind you up, wind you up in such a way that you become more and more aware. Suddenly after 5-6 days, you were like… After that, if you kept up your practice, gradually it'll move up every day. Otherwise, slowly you became dim once again. Have you noticed this? You steadily keep up your practice, how your awareness is, you give it up and slowly, voltage is going down. If voltage goes down, the light becomes dim. Light becomes dim, you see very few things. The voltage is really high, light becomes really bright and you see everything. This is awareness. So you don't work on your awareness or your consciousness or your spiritual growth, you just work upon your voltage. You keep your energies up as much as possible, and when energies are up, you tend to get entangled with something. You make sure you don't get entangled with anything. See, an adolescent is far more energetic than other people, but he's always getting into trouble because he has the energy, but he doesn't have the stability. So to have the energy and to maintain the stability, if you do these two things if you do, the rest will happen by itself, nothing to do. Simply sit and enjoy.
Shoonya means emptiness. One thing that you don't want in your life is, you don't want emptiness. Why all the trouble that you're taking on in your life in terms of education, family, profession, money, problems, everything is, somehow you want to ensure that your life is not empty. That's all you're trying to do. At any cost you want to see that your life is not empty. You don't mind trouble, but you don't want it to be empty. All the fame people are inviting in their lives just to avoid emptiness. Because emptiness is the ultimate poison. Ultimate poison it is. You don't want your life to be empty. But consciously if you become empty, that is the nectar of life. That is why Shoonya meditation. Shoonya means leaving yourself out. If you master the art of leaving yourself out of your own life, 15 minutes Shoonya itself can lead to enlightenment. But such human beings are rare who are willing to leave themselves out. Such things come only when one has a deep sense of surrender in them, without resisting them towards surrender. It's not impossible, but rare. It's very much a possibility for anybody. But when people are using meditation as a trick to live better, the question of leaving yourself out doesn't arise, isn't it? It's about you. The very reason why you're meditating is your well-being. That itself is defeating. But if I tell people, just meditate, it need not bring any well-being, most people will never meditate. So we are talking about well-being, the benefits that one will derive, which is very self-defeating. See, the reason why spirituality seems to be complex, it is not. It's very simple. Why it seems to be complex is only because of this factor, because it's a process of self-annihilation. Only somebody who is willing to dissolve himself. How can anybody dissolve himself? If I say, I'm going to dissolve myself, you get more established than anybody else. You understand what I'm saying? The more you try, the more you're getting established. But if you don't try, there is no way. Just getting that tact or knack of just making effort but not bothering about what's happening. That's where the whole crux of meditation is. If you just understand whatever happens, it's just fine with you, then slowly you are staying out of it. You can't stay out of the effort, but you can stay out of the fruit that it produces, isn't it? If you take away this, nothing need to happen to you, no benefit. Even if it tortures you, every day you will sit. If that comes to you, you will see your meditation will graduate into different dimensions. But people are always meditating, calculating, am I getting enough or not? That itself is a limitation. But you cannot inspire people without offering them benefits. Nobody would meditate if you tell them, you won't get anything, just meditate. So that's where meditations have become limited.